Tally Talks. My name is Tally, and today I'm going to be talking about the 55 million visa holders that we have here in this country. And I was shocked and not shocked at that number. Um, I knew it was a big number. I didn't know how big. It wasn't even something I really thought about because when you just talk about the sheer number of illegals that we know we have 20, 40 million, who really knows? And then you combine those numbers and you're talking about a massive, massive number. I mean, you're talking about a fairly large country, almost the size of Russia, I would say. You're getting there. You're getting there. So let's just call it a total of 75 million between illegals and visa holders, whom we know that that's just as soon as they get here, they're not going back for the most part. But it's just basically like we didn't turn into a tourist country, we turned into a permanent resident country for all of the third world countries to come to, you know. And it's just probably at some point, when do you mention it? When do you say, okay, hey, that's too much, we can't do anymore? And at what point do they just change the locks and tell you you're the visitor now? Because that's what it seems like to me they're trying to do. They're trying to pull the Uno reverse card of, okay, if we get enough people in here, they won't do anything about it, and we'll just take over and tell them that they're the residents now. They've been telling you this for years. Oh, we're gonna outpopulate the white people one day. We're gonna be more, make them the minority. But what they're really saying when they say that, it's not technically true, because we'd still be the highest population of people. But you just combine all the other minorities, and we're still, they're bigger than us combined, just not. But just seems like a threat. It feels like a threat when they say it, which is fine. I mean, on a global scale, we're not that much of the population, to be honest. And evidently, they see us as I don't know, you fill it in. They definitely want to immigrate to mostly white countries. And any white country any country that they mention that's better than America, right, is like a much, much wider country than America all the time. They're not saying Uganda, places like that. But it shows mostly when you're going out for services, or you're going out for dinner, or you're going out shopping, you definitely see these people there. And you start to feel a little bit like a minority, which I'm fine with. I mean, I've lived in so many places where I'm a minority, it doesn't really bother me anymore. It's more of the, if I'm going to be a minority, I want to be a minority in the area to people who are American. Like, if I'm in Alabama, there's definitely places I can go where I am the minority in the group, right? But I'm more comfortable with that, that kind of minorityism, whatever you want to call it. But if you go to the DMV lines, it 100% shows there. I mean, they have to have an interpreter, or at least they say they have to have an interpreter, so that they can kind of get moved to the front of the line, because they have to pay an interpreter to be there. They, in states where they don't have medical care, they just clog up the emergency room the emergency rooms. I mean, if you've ever had to take your kid there, if you've ever had to go to the emergency room, and you live in one of these areas, then you know that it's gonna be a minute when you show up. Just to close it out, America's not a melting pot anymore. It's just a hostel in downtown Seattle, not the good ones. Just a crappy hostel where we've shoved as many people into the bunk beds as we can. We're getting to the point where they want you to sleep two to the bunk, you know. And not to beat a dead horse, but as far as the how many, it's more than the population of Canada. If they were a state, they would be the largest state. You know, America seems to be the only place that, when the doorbell rings, we open the door and it's 90 million people, 100 million people show up to take advantage. Not going to pay rent. They're not, and by rent, I mean like they're not paying into these services like they try to say that they are. They're all using fake IDs. If I was to use a fake ID, I'm going to jail. If I get caught, I'm going to jail for using a fake ID. If I have a fake ID of me, it's still illegal, right? And I would still go to jail or at least get prosecuted for that. But these people, they just, no respect for anything. One last thing, and then I'm out of here. And that is that they also, I've seen them go to these car auctions, especially when I lived in Denver. You would see them just constantly towing cars with the cars that they just bought. And it'd be like a chain of 3 cars being towed by a freaking Dodge Caravan. And they just have a sign or paint on the back window in tow. And that's it. And they never got pulled over. I mean, I've seen hundreds of these, and they're all headed south. And not one of them get pulled over. Anyways, that's it for me on this one. Please, anybody, leave a comment, leave a like, give me a subscribe, anything you can. If I was gonna shout out to anybody in this, I'm gonna give a shout out to some of the apps and stuff that make it easy to create. And specifically, I'd like to give a shout out to Canva. No sponsor or anything, obviously, but definitely really enjoy learning on that app. Anyways, have a good day. Thank you very much.